felt like someone creeping into the bed. He starts to whisper in my ear, we're gonna have some fun, I have like a full room to myself, like telling him no loads of times, and then him getting like progressively more and more touchy with me to the point where he literally like I don't know how to start this video. I've never done a video like this before. Alright. Hey guys, and welcome back to today's video. For today's video, I have I just wouldn't think I would ever do a video about this, so I just like never even thought about like how I would start a video like this, or like how I would even. Basically, today I'll be doing a story time about when a TikToker, I guess, I'm just calling him a TikToker because that's what I think he's most known on, but when a TikToker sexually harassed me. This is a very serious topic. This is not to, like, I don't even know like how to go like about this story time, because I've never done a story time with like this much of a serious topic. The reason I'm doing this video is because about 2 weeks ago I did a video where I talked about my first time with like a straight guy when he was like kind of playing me and all, and then that video apparently helped a lot of you guys that dealt with like the same kind of struggles and like how to deal with that in the future. And so now this is a story time that I've been debating to do just because it is like such a touchy subject, and like it's just like not something that like I want to bring back. It's just a video that I always was like, okay, this is like too depressing, like I'm not gonna do a video about this. There's no like really a point to bring it back. Again, like if my last story time helped a lot of you guys, like, I can't imagine like how many people this story time could help to, you know what to do if you were in my situation or whatever. Anyway, so let's just get on into the story time. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. So pretty much, this all happened at this event called Playlist Live. So if y'all don't know what Playlist Live is an event that I go to every year because I really do enjoy it. It's like a social media event where loads of social media kids, like influencers, go and they can meet their fans and followers can meet them, and it's just a fun time, and it's like a really good opportunity to like collaborate with other influencers, go see my friends that I haven't seen in like years. I think throughout the years at Playlist, like we've started to realize like more and more that it is like very much, I mean, if you go back like 4 years back, it was pretty much all YouTubers and like Instagrammers that were going, and now if you look at like, let's just say this year's, it was half of the people there were TikTokers. So I feel like they're kind of taking over the event. I literally got asked if I was a TikToker, and I had to awkwardly say like no, and then the girl was like, oh, okay, like I don't really care then. At that time, I was really lucky because I was really close to Nick, and that was the year where I actually met Nick's boyfriend Brandon. So pretty much the whole event, like we just kind of hung out together, and so the whole event, it was like literally just the three of us. And then also I had a friend from Montreal. She's not really an influencer, but she came for some reason, I guess to meet her favorite people. So Nick has been on social media now for a lot longer than I have. So over the years of being on it, he's just created loads of friends just through events and tours and all that. Every time I hung out with him at Playlist, I would always be meeting like 10 new people like every day, just because he knows everyone. At some point, I think we're just like hanging out in the lobby or something, and 3 of Nick's friends come up to us, and then so Nick introduced me to his 3 friends, and one of them was the TikToker. Pretty much, so I say hi to them, like they all seem really cool, they all seem, like they were fine, really. Like, so basically it was 2 guys and 1 girl, and both the guys were gay, and the girl might have been lesbian. I have no clue. It was a year, it wasn't this Playlist, but it was like the last one. So at this time, a year and a half ago, me and Anthony had just met each other. So I had literally just come back from England where I met Anthony. Like right after I had that like almost 2 weeks in England with Anthony, I flew back home to then fly to Playlist Orlando. So me and Anthony weren't officially dating at this point, but we were very close, and like it was pretty much like official, unofficial, like I was definitely like seeing him, right? And so I kind of just let everyone know at Playlist that I was like, listen, like I'm seeing a guy like back home. So because that Playlist is just like basically every gay guy that's single is horny, right? Well, even the ones that aren't single, they're very horny. A lot of the guys that were there and that were gay, that were kind of like flirting with me, because there were like a few, I kindly let them know that like I'm seeing someone back home and I don't really feel like going into that. For all of them except this one TikToker. For all of them, they completely understood. They were like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, if I seem too pushy, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to. A lot of them were super sweet about it and like totally understood. And then there was this guy. So I met Nick's friends. So then I was saying hi to this TikToker when Nick was there and all. And I instantly kind of felt like he was like putting flirty vibes on me, but like almost even more than everyone else. So like it was so flirty that even Nick was like, listen, like he has a boyfriend back home, like don't fuck with him. Literally, Nick knew me and Anthony were just seeing each other, but he just decided to be like he has a boyfriend because it made it sound more severe, which at that time, like, I thank Nick for, because like who knows what he would have done if I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just seeing someone back home. Like he probably would have taken that as like a, oh yeah, like I'm open for business, you know? Like when Nick said like that I was seeing a boyfriend back home, he kind of just like played it off and like kind of laughed about it. So then me and Nick just kind of like walked away, and he kind of warned me that this TikToker kid was like a bit weird and like was known for being very like horny, and so he was just telling me to like watch out because he could just tell that this TikToker was like really into me. My innocent self being like, well listen, we like let him know that I'm dating someone, he probably won't try anything, so it's fine. So now at nighttime at Playlist, if you're an influencer, and even if you're like a supporter that's there to watch people, you're most likely gonna get drunk. So now this is like the second or first night at Playlist. It's like someone's hotel room, and they just like invited absolutely everyone. So like a lot of my friends were there, and it was just like a really good time. Like we were all drinking, having fun. Yeah. So then I felt like the whole time the guy was like, the TikTok guy was like kind of like stuck to me and like wouldn't leave me alone. Throughout the night I kind of kept reminding him like, listen, like I'm seeing someone again, like I just don't want to like, you know, mess with your emotions, you know, give you the wrong impression. Like I am seeing someone though. And he was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But like he kept like flirting and like being like very much like aggressive in terms of like putting his arm around me and like just touching me like on my shoulders and stuff. I didn't think too much of it because I just thought in my head like, okay, some people are just like really touch you when like they're drunk, right? So I just thought it was like that situation. So then all night we end up just like going to like these different parties and like different rooms, and of course as like the night escalates and escalates and escalates, we get a lot more drunk. So now the night is about to end. So basically I go back to my room, and Nick could really sense this guy was trying to like get with me. He was like dragging me to his room. He was telling me like, oh my god, like Nick, come to my room. And at that point I was very drunk. Not that I was like going with him. I was still like cautious enough to be like, okay, no, like you're disgusting, like get with me. But Nick really felt it. So at that time, Nick and Brandon had a different hotel room, a different hotel completely. Before the guy could even say anything more, Nick and Brandon grabbed me and they were like, you're staying at our hotel tonight, don't worry, I'm not letting you sleep here, there's no way. Like to this day, I love Nick and Brandon so much for doing this. Like, you know, like if they would have just left me there alone, the guy might have just followed me to my room and like gone and whatever. So they were like, no, you're not staying here, you're coming to our place. And I was so thankful for that, and like I still am to this day. Like, now it's the next day. I have a meet and greet with Nick. It's a really good time. I'm meeting supporters and I love doing that. Again, there was another party at night because it's like day 2, you know, like you gotta party it up. Same kind of situation, even though it's day 2, like we're all kind of just getting drunk, whatever, going to different parties. But after all the parties, me, Nick, Brandon, my friend from back home, and these 2 other girls and this TikToker kid end up going back to one room just to socialize and chat. Now this is like day 2, right? So like I had taken a lot of alcohol. I'm such a bad influence, but like I want y'all to learn from my mistakes. And so I was like very much drunk, right? Anyway, so we're all sitting on like these 2 separate beds. And so I'm on this bed with this girl, and Nick and Brandon and this other girl on this other bed. And the TikToker guy is just kind of like hanging around my bed, but like on like those office chair things. Now the girl next to me like passes out, like falls asleep, and me being very drunk and like in a very comfy bed, I tend to do the same thing. So right before I'm falling asleep and passing out, so Nick and Brandon are like, hey guys, so we're about to go back to our hotel. Anyone want to come with us? I think they were like aiming at like me to be like, yeah, I'll come with you. Like, but at this point again, I was very drunk. All I wanted to do was be in that bed and sleep. And I thought since that girl was there with me in the bed, like nothing would happen, right? So Nick and Brandon are saying like, come on, who wants to come with us? Again, like I think they were trying to like really tell me like, okay, like come with us, like come to our hotel the other side of town. But again, I was just too drunk and I was just too tired. And then the TikTok guy came back to them. So he told Nick and Brandon, he was like, listen guys, just leave. Like, he's mature enough to make his own decisions. Have in mind, I was like drunk as fuck, like on the bed. And he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll take care of him, don't worry. And of course, if some TikToker that tries to get with me this whole weekend tells Nick and Brandon that, they get very sketched out. They're like, no, this is not happening. So they decide to stay in the room on the other bed and just sleep there. So at this point, it's like me and the girl in one bed, Nick, Brandon, and this other girl in the other bed, and Nick and Brandon just keeping an eye on the guy, right? And so at some point, like the lights are like pitch black, like the room is dark, right? Like I can't see anything. I feel someone coming like on the other side of the bed. My girlfriend, well, girl, that's friend, was on the left side. And I felt someone coming to the left of me. So I was like in the middle, right? And I was like, oh, maybe it's just my friend from back home because she was also there. Or maybe it's just like Nick or Brandon, I don't know, like trying to like come and get out. So I felt like someone creeping into the bed. I'm sleeping in bed and he comes in the bed with me and he starts to like kind of like do this to me, like on my like arm, like rub me, and he starts to whisper in my ear, yo, come back to my room, like we're gonna have some fun, I have like a full room to myself, you don't have to share a bed, doing this to me while whispering these things in my ear. And so me being very drunk and either way just wanting to be there and in that bed with my friend that will protect me, but she was like passed out, so like I had no hope for her. So I was like, no, like go away. I just like remember like telling him no loads of times and then him getting like progressively more and more touchy with me, and to the point where he literally like was starting to grab my butt and like grab my ass and just be like, come to my room, like trust me, it'll be a really fun time. Have in mind, I had said no like literally probably at this point like 60 times, like I had said no loads. And so as I kept saying no, my voice got progressively higher and more like get away from me. And he just kind of kept grabbing on me and like was even spooning me at some point. And so since I started saying no so loud, Nick and Brandon both heard me. My friend from back home also heard me. They all turned the lights on and literally grabbed him and pushed him out of the room and locked the door and told him to never touch me ever again. We all passed out in that room. I wake up the next morning. To me, the night before was kind of blurry because again, I was like kind of drunk and like whatever, but I got this exact story time from Nick, Brandon, and my friend from back home, who all stood up for me. She was telling me that she literally grabbed him and like pushed him out and locked the door. So that's how it ended. And of course that day I called Anthony and I was like, oh my god, this happened, I was so worried. And even Anthony was like, oh my god, if I was there, like I would fucking beat this kid up. And like I regret so many things. Like for one, getting drunk to that level when I know some guy is kind of like into me, but my brain at that point was too innocent and like I never really had like that many experiences with like gay guys. I guess my brain was just too innocent and just didn't think like too much of it. So, and I was just trying to have fun and like, so that's my biggest regret. And like to this day, like I'm so thankful for Nick and Brandon, my friend from back home, for sticking up for me, because it could have been so easy for them just to go back to their hotel, like, you know, across town, and like Nick doesn't want to come with us. That's his problem. And even my friend, like, who came from my hometown, had to like sleep on a chair type thing, like, cause the beds were all taken. I am so thankful to this day to have like such great friends in my life, but not everyone has like great friends like that in their life. So before I end this story time, I just want to do like a bit of an update. So I don't know if y'all saw, but me and Anthony went to Playlist this year, and of course the TikToker was there because he's just there every fucking year for some reason. And he tried to talk to me, and I was like ignoring him. I was like super blunt with him. And then Anthony, who had heard about the situation like the day after it happened when I called him, at this year Anthony just like stared him out, like told him to fuck off when like he was like going near me. So I'm really glad I had Anthony with me this year. But I guess the conclusion to this story time is literally just like watch out for yourselves. I guess if you know you're at a party, and this goes for both guys and girls, like if you guys are at a party and there's a lot of drinking happening and you sense someone is like really like into you and like you know wants you but you keep saying no, don't get too drunk, or like at least be smart enough to like tell a friend if you need to get drunk that night. Like just tell a friend like, listen, like this guy's been eyeing me all night, can you just make sure that like nothing happens, or like just to keep an eye on me towards, like make sure a few people know that this guy is eyeing you out or this girl's eyeing you out. Like I want to say don't get drunk, but like it's like everyone, like it's just a childhood thing like that everyone needs to deal with. So like I'm not gonna say don't get drunk because that's stupid, but don't get to the point where you're like you can't like help yourself. Like tell people like, listen, I have a boyfriend, like and like let your friends know that you are not interested in anyone there. And you want them to keep an eye on. And hopefully this situation happens to no one. I kind of hate myself for kind of keeping it to myself and not coming out with the story like earlier. I think it's just one of those things where it's like better like late than never, because someone's always gonna have to deal with a situation like this out there. And like if I can help a few people stay safe, like. Alright guys, so that's all for the video today. I hope someone enjoyed this. If you guys have your own stories and advice down in the comments down below, please give your stories, give your advice on this situation. Just try to help people out in the comments that have dealt with this or think they're dealing with this right now. Or I'm gonna be reading all your stories down below and trying to help you guys as much as I can with my own knowledge, but I hope that you guys can learn from my mistakes. Alright, that's all for the video guys. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna see you guys after tomorrow with another new video. Alright, bye.